Hi, this is Father Bill. We're here at St. Callistus. We're talking about the saint of the week. This week's saint is St. Martha, and you may know that she was sister of Mary and Lazarus. They lived in Bethany, a few miles from Jerusalem. Jesus was friends with them and visited them frequently. Martha is, because she was known for serving and taking care of the household, she's the patron saint of butlers, cooks, dietitians, domestic workers, maids, housewives, anybody that's kind of taking care of a household and taking care of other people. So there's three important instances in the Gospels about Martha. First is when Jesus comes to see Martha and Mary and Lazarus, and Martha is busy about the serving, taking care of all the guests. You can imagine there might have been an entourage with Jesus, maybe the apostles, other disciples, and then Mary is just sitting at Jesus' feet, drinking in all the words of the Master, and just caught up in that relationship. So Martha says to Jesus, "Master, tell my sister to help me. I'm taking care of all these people." Jesus responds, "You're anxious about many things. Only one thing is necessary. It will not be taken away from Mary. She's chosen the better part." So we look at that as affirming the prayer life, the contemplative life, over against the life of service and work and apostolic work. More about that in a minute. Then Jesus shows up before the raising of Lazarus. Lazarus dies and he shows up, and both sisters meet him separately as he comes into their territory, into their property. And Martha is the one that says, I believe that he will live on the last day. And Jesus says, "I am the resurrection and life." And Mary's like, "I have come to know that you are the Son of God, the Messiah, the one who is to come into the world." So she makes a great profession of faith as Jesus is coming to raise Lazarus, which he does subsequently. And then the last one is, that was John 11, chapter 12 of John. They're at table there, and this is after Lazarus rose. They're all together. It's a little while before Jesus is getting crucified, and he's visiting them. So this is where it just says Martha served. So now there's no, asking Jesus to tell her sister to help her. And it's kind of a way of her faith developed. Now she has faith. She knows that serving is what Christians do, not complaining or asking for help from anybody else. And of course, she made that profession of faith. So we see a good example of faith in Jesus leads to service of others and taking care of others, and of course, a prayer life. Now, Martha and Mary, we could say, they represent two great dimensions in the history of the church. One is the active life, and one is contemplative life. St. Thomas Aquinas talked about this. It's been in our history for centuries, that one dimension of you love Christ, you're going to follow him, you're going to serve others. That's pretty obvious. You take care of the poor, you take care of people, run a good household like Martha did. On the other hand, you have to have that quiet time with the Lord, a prayerful time. Famous saying, action without contemplation is blind. If we don't pray and get our orders from God, we might kind of make a mess of things if we're just doing our own will. So we have to balance those two out. And Martha and Mary are good examples of that. Martha represents the active life, serving others. Mary represents the contemplative life, the life of prayer, the life where you just gaze at Jesus. You're there with Jesus, loving him, responding to him. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to jump through any hoops. Both dimensions are important for all of us. Some say that if we're an extrovert, we're like Martha. And the second part of life, maybe we become more introverted, more prayerful. And if we're like Mary, maybe we already were attracted to prayer as we're younger. We get older, we might realize I have to balance my personality out. I need to be more extroverted, more serving others. So both things are very important for us. And some say, every Christian, every person is both Martha and Mary. There's times when we just gaze at the Lord and pray, times we need to serve others. Both are wonderful things that give us a whole well-rounded Christian personality and way of living. God bless. Take care.